happy to be welcoming back runners for the annual Monaco run. We're looking forward to some exciting races here today. Monaco Athletic might have anticipated that he will sweep back.
Look at that form. Oh my god, so smooth.
As watch me alongside the big boats up this very steep but short rise.
Okay, I'll come up now. So Tom Pidcock ran a 13:25. This is the Monaco men's elite results. And checked a guy running 12:51, and then Jimmy Gressier running 13:18, and Nick Gulab, British runner, great run by him, 13:27. So Pidcock would have come third if that run is legit. I mean, if that's a legit run time. I can't wait to find out what's going on with that. And so I'm just about to head out on the fourth of these 5 challenges that I'm doing, another run challenge. And the concept of this one is dead straightforward. Whatever your first kilometre is, and I can look at my watch for the first kilometre, get the pacing off of that, you then have to drop 20 seconds per kilometre over 5 kilometres, so in total. So essentially dropping a minute and a half faster overall from kilometre 1 to kilometre 2. So you look at your pace in kilometre 1, drop 20 seconds, drop 20 seconds, drop 20 seconds for the 5 kilometres. See how we get on with this. I'm not very good at doing this at the best of times, and also, as you'll see a bit later on in the video, this week hasn't quite gone to plan. So today's run, I'm basing that off of, well, as you'll see in a bit later on in the video, not quite what was expected this week. So I'm going to be taking it very, very easy, like slowish jog for kilometre 1, because I know that when I get down to my fastest kilometre, I'm not going to be able to really hold a very high pace. I mean, I'm not run fit anyway, I'm overweight, but also it's been a bit of a strange week. So we'll just have to see how we get on with this. The intention is to still try somehow to get under the wire with this one. The deadline is actually today for all 5 challenges, and I'm only about to go out on the 4th one. So I'll either try and do the 5th one later today, depending on how I feel after the run, or I might have to seek an extension from Ben in terms of being able to see if I can sneak this one under the wire and get it in maybe tomorrow morning to do the final run of the 5. Let's get out. Right, just heading out for a run, all right? Okay. Okay. Just heading out for a run, okay? All right? All right. I need you to hit subscribe, I need you to hit the notifications bell, and I need you to give this video a thumbs up. Do it now. So I actually found that far tougher than any of the others in terms of wanting to look at my watch as I was running, and I didn't do as badly as I imagined. Sort of knocking 20 seconds off per kilometre I thought was going to be a super challenge, and it was a super challenge, but I was closer than I thought. So I ran the first kilometre at 6:40, which is the plan. I was allowed to look at my watch for that one, which meant I had to run kilometre 2 blind at 6:20. Well, I ran 6:19.4, so that'll probably round it down to 6:19 on Garmin Connect. And then the 3rd kilometre I was supposed to run at 6 minutes dead, and I ran 5:54.9, so that'll probably round it up to 5:55. So there's only 5 seconds out on that one. Kilometre 4 was really tricky actually, because I had a sort of cross headwind. So I think I overcompensated quite heavily for that one. As you can tell from the heart rate, it's the highest kilometre in terms of heart rate. I also was supposed to run 5:40, I ran 5:27.9, so I probably round it up to 5:28, which means I was a good 12 seconds out on that one, 12 seconds too quick. But then the irony is, on the 5th kilometre I was supposed to run 5:20 and I ran 5:15.3, so only 5 seconds out on that one. So I managed to adjust back to where I should have been. So kilometre again, just 1 kilometre out of the 5 that I ran that really blew it for me, which was kilometre 4 into headwind. There you go. I'll look at the proper numbers on Garmin Connect in a minute and tot up the points. Okay, this has not been quite the week that I had planned. Let me tell you what I had planned. I had 3 runs planned. I was going to complete the Messy Happy Challenge, which I'm probably going to talk about in another video because I still have one of those runs left to do this evening. And I'll probably make that an extra video next week to talk about how I've got on with that. However, plan was to do 3 runs, which included that, and to do 3 bike sessions of 2 hours each. I was going to do 2 hours on Zwift, 2 hours on the cross bike, 2 hours on the road bike, and that would be my first build week back into getting another build going after last week's rest week. So let me tell you how that didn't pan out and how it's been a weird week where in my mind, because I didn't achieve my goals that I'd originally set out, it feels a bit like a failure. But on the flip side of things, I've done a load of things that I hadn't planned to do, which makes it feel like a bit more of a success. So what did happen was Wednesday I did the first of the Messy Happy Challenges, which was a heart rate based one. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thursday night was going to do one of the other challenges, but in the end went out and did a nice easy 30 minutes with my friend Sunil Basu, who is a GB age grouper, fantastic character, incredible guy who I think we're probably going to have on the channel a bit more because he's just one of those incredibly interesting characters and just a very likable, lovable chap and a fantastic athlete. Anyway, that was a nice easy run Thursday. Then Friday is kind of where it went a bit skewed. I had planned originally on Friday to do one of my 2 hour blocks. So I was going to do a 2 hour block on Friday, Saturday and Sunday to get my 6 hours in on the bike. So I had that planned on the Friday. I had to take Bex to Ashton Gate, the Bristol City football ground, for her vaccine, her jab for COVID-19, and she has this phobia. Don't know what it's called. She's got this phobia where she quite often passes out when she's having an injection, some sort of needle phobia. So I took her in to have that so I could look after her, went in with her face mask, all that kind of stuff. And then when we got to the desk where Bex was signing in, they asked me if I was there for my jab and I said no. And they said, look, we've had so few people turn up for their actual scheduled jabs. Do you want to have yours as well, as essentially you're a carer? And of course I'd have been stupid to have said no at that point. So I ended up having the vaccine jab completely unplanned. So that's both me and Bex that are now vaccinated, which is fantastic news. I have to say, the system that's running at Ashton Gate, I would imagine is probably the same as it is all around the UK, is flawless and amazing, and my hat goes off always to all those people, those volunteers that are doing such an amazing job there. However, we moved into Friday evening, and because the boys have been so incredible with their homeschooling, both through when Bex was having her chemo and being able to kind of get through all that kind of stuff, right the way through to now where Bex is a bit better, she's homeschooling them, they're still working really hard. We thought now that it was going to be half term next week, we would throw a bit of a party, a bit of a family party Friday night, do something a bit different rather than just having tea together. We thought we'd throw the boys a party, just a really nice, enjoyable thing for us to do. We had all the we borrowed chocolate fountain off of a friend of ours. We had egg and cress sandwiches, you name it. We had the whole 9 yards, even had party rings. And that was really enjoyable and a really, really fantastic night. And then, so that skipped one of my bike rides, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, we'll see how we get on. And woke up Saturday early, both me and Bex feeling absolutely dreadful. I mean, just really, really ill. They had warned us that some of the side effects would to be, you know, kind of flu-like symptoms. And I think because I haven't been poorly in the last year or so, it really hit me and Bex quite hard. Obviously, Bex recovering still. So Saturday was a total write-off. It also feels like in my right arm where they gave me the jab, feels like when my brother used to give me a dead arm. It still feels like now, and it's like Sunday afternoon. It feels really painful. However, I do feel okay now. Woke up this morning, Sunday morning, feeling so much better. So as a consequence, I've done 0 bike miles, which is a real worry, being that that's the biggest challenge I've got. So that in my head, I'm thinking it's a total disaster. So I woke up this morning and thought, right, I've got 2 more run challenges I still need to complete, and so I went out this morning and did one of the other challenges, and the plan is that once my dinner's gone down or my lunch has gone down, I'm going to go out and do the other run in a minute. So that's the plan. So I will have actually done the highest run mileage I'll have done for quite some time by the end of this week, which is fine. It's all fitness. I wouldn't say my eating's been brilliant. I'm still stuck to Monday and Wednesday fasting. and still stuck to 16.8 throughout the rest of the week. However, what I was eating around then felt a bit reckless, whereas actually in the previous weeks I've been a bit more controlled in what I was having. So I need to get back on that. So going forwards, the plan going forwards is I'm going to back off the running a little bit, just a touch, and make sure that I do actually fulfill the hours that I wanted to get in next week. But it's been a really peculiar, odd, I don't really know how to describe it, week. I wasn't expecting the vaccine, obviously. I feel incredibly privileged to have that. I said to Bex on the way back, I feel a bit like a superhero now, where I've got this AstraZeneca vaccine, and hopefully as we get through everybody else, things will start to move in the right direction. But essentially, that's kind of been the week. It's been a bit of a confusing week and a little bit of a puzzling week, but that, you know, one of the brilliant things for these videos, from my perspective, is it really gives me the opportunity to actually really to really kind of look at what I've done and how I've got on. And I think that's something worth kind of thinking about for everybody, really. Is a lot of the time we in the music industry, you always say you're only as good as your last gig. It's the same thing with this, you know. Actually look at what you've done during the week, and look at, you know, if you were supposed to do 3 runs but you got 1 in, that's 1 run that you managed to get in. It's not 0 runs. Or look at the reasons why those things happened, and maybe 1 or 2 things really. Obviously congratulate yourself on the things that you have achieved, but also make sure that you evaluate why those other things didn't happen. Now, from my perspective, one of those reasons is I left everything to the last minute. I thought to myself, I'll do all of my build block work over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I thought that would be more beneficial, because obviously I've got to do these elongated runs day in, day out. But actually, what I need to do at the minute is just get the miles in. So that's going to be a case of looking at making sure I space my rides out a little bit earlier in the week. So starting tomorrow. But also kind of just mentally thinking to yourself, look, you know, this week's been quite important for the family in terms of the broader kind of social aspects of getting vaccinated. Still managed to build my fitness. My run fitness feels like it's getting there, and the bike stuff will follow. There's time, there's plenty of time, and that time starts tomorrow. So I hope you've had a slightly less weird week than me, but I hope that you can look back on what you have done and look at the things that you have achieved, and if there are things that you haven't achieved, look at why you haven't. And don't beat yourself up if they were unavoidable. The classic thing of control the controllables, you know. Don't beat yourself up if they were unavoidable. If it was more of a motivation thing, then you need to take a look at why that is. If it's a time-based thing, then look at why that is. You need to make sure you have time for yourself. So with that in mind, I'm going to go and get myself ready to do this final run of the run challenges that I've set myself. Got to do a tempo run, a blind tempo run, where I run 20 minutes at tempo, but I've got to do it completely blind and see how close my heart rate is. So that's the plan now. I hope you guys have a good week. I'm sorry there hasn't been a huge amount of footage or anything to look at of this week, because I just haven't done so much. Oh, and I forgot to put my SD card in the GoPro for the first run that I did this week. So there's been not a lot to see this week, but there you go. That's where I'm at. Have a good week. Look after yourselves. Look after the people around you. And I will see you on the next video. Take it easy. So I'm not quite finished for the week. I'm just about to actually, you know, I'm going to stand here because it's windy. I'm going to head out and do this tempo run. It's Sunday night, just before I finish editing the video together. So I've got to go do 20 minutes blind tempo. So the idea is that I try and stick to whatever my heart rate is. Now I'm guessing I've got to state what that's going to be in advance. So I'm going to aim at, I think my upper end of zone 3 sort of tempo area is about 167. So I'm going to aim to kind of keep it around 165. That'll be my target for 20 minutes. So I'm going to go and do a good warm up and then see what I've got in me, bearing in mind I'm still probably recovering a little bit from the jab, and it's very windy, and also I ran earlier today. We'll see how we get on and get my excuses in earlier. You'll have to watch the video later in the week to see just how I fared against everybody else's kind of numbers that I think Ben and Mary will be putting up. We'll see how we get on.